I'm with Nicholas Gustafsson of LFV. LFV is one of the leading partners in the Borealis Free Route Airspace Initiative. Nicholas, can you just explain how you're getting the airlines involved, how far they need to be convinced to do more in terms of free route airspace and Borealis in particular?
In general, developing free route airspace is not a new thing. It's been around, but now the bits and pieces of system and the willingness and the regulators and our ANSPs as well are there, and the concept will be realized. And one piece is, of course, that you need to make sure that on the other side, the customer, the airlines, can embrace and understand. So talking with them is a key part of making sure that the fuel savings and the time savings and everything can be realized. I mean, eventually in 2019-20, the airspace will reach from the Canadian border more or less to the Finnish border in the whole northern hemisphere, and it'll be AAA and NATS and Avinor and Naviair and LFV and all these partners working together. And
can you remind me how many millions of square kilometers of airspace will eventually be covered by Borealis?
A large portion of airspace, if you look at the map. I don't know the exact number, but it's a major airspace.
From the Canadian border to Scandinavia.
And it will make a change. I think that's a key thing. And that's driven by the fact that we need to embrace sort of the talking to our customers and making sure that they can get value for money. I mean, that's basically the whole idea.
On the 21st of April this year, a landmark will be reached in the development of remote towers in Sweden.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, in LFV, we started, not even 10 years ago, we had this idea of how do we support our smaller regional airports to come up with a more cost-efficient solution. And then we went to the technology. Can you do something there? We went to the people. How can we save? And come up with, well, if you do it remotely, that's a possibility to sort of be more efficient, more flexible, provide on-demand services and so on. And we worked with industry and we worked with CESAR and to come up with this, and even now in the later stage, EASA, to make sure that this can fly in a safe way. And by the 21st of April, we will go live. I think there's a world first where you really take the full services. There's exactly a replica, but doing it remotely. And I think that's fantastic. And I think we've just seen the first bits and pieces of this. If you talk to me in 5 years, I think there'll be more ANSPs, more innovations, and I think remote tower technology has been sort of it's just the way it will work eventually. And it doesn't stop with small airports. We've seen recently, if you go to medium-sized and larger airport, it's up to us to comprehend. It sits in the stomach rather than in the factual issues. It's just the start of something much, much bigger. So that's very proud of that.
It's a case of seeing is believing, really, and now people can believe because it's going live in April at.
Yeah, we took a very early sort of decision that we will try to make it to see is to believe, and we have this center up running and let the control. I think we have over 400 controllers just visiting and listening, and they tend to come in there very reluctant and saying this will not work in my airport, and they leave religiously convinced that this will work in their airports. And into that, I think we had more than 50 countries coming in, or executives coming in and say, is this something that I can apply in Africa or in Japan or in Europe? And I think this sort of the mind process has started in many ANSPs and airports of a paradigm shift in that sense, in investing in functions rather than concrete, if I put it that way.
And can you just remind us, Nicholas, where the remote tower will go into service in Sweden first?
Yes, the center will be in the lovely place of Sundsvall, which is middle of Sweden, and the airport is called Örnsköldsvik, a difficult name to pronounce, a little bit 250 kilometers north. And then we will add a second airport by the end of the year, and the third airport the year after, and then they will follow. So it's sort of a transitioning of airports into the remote tower center in Sweden, hopefully also abroad.
Thank you very much.